probably the last person in the world you would expect to disappear. For more than 20 years, he was the associate minister of the New Hope Baptist Church in Nashville, Tennessee. His congregation lavished him with affection and praised him as a respected, upstanding citizen who never missed a Sunday service. The mystery surrounding Georgeowens began in July of 1985 when his wife Aileen traveled to Ohio to visit her niece. During 67 years of marriage, it was one of the few times that George and Aileen had been apart. As it turned out, they would never see each other again. At 6:30 a.m. on July 22nd, 1985, Aileen returned to Nashville as scheduled. George had arranged to meet her at the bus station, but he never arrived. Aileen waited for an hour before phoning her brother-in-law, Alfred Owens.
When I got the call from the bus station from her, I told her that I would pick her up, and I called him, and he wasn't at home, and I picked up and carried her home.
When she got there, she told me, she said, the moment I stepped in the garage and his car wasn't there, I knew something was wrong. I didn't know what it was, but I knew something was wrong.
Alfred, here's 2 place settings.
I wonder where is it?
Alfred immediately contacted the authorities, but an investigation turned up nothing.
Oh, Bill?
Then 6 days later, Georgeowens' car was found abandoned on a remote rural hilltop, more than 100 miles from his home. There was no evidence of a struggle or foul play. The keys were still in the ignition. The back door was open, and George's cane was propped against the car. Inside, investigators found George's jacket in a pile of kindling wood, but there was no sign of George Owens. Within a week, a local television station aired a missing persons bulletin about George. Several people in another part of Tennessee recognized his picture, and an unusual story began to unfold. On Monday, July 22nd, 3 hours after George was supposed to pick up his wife in Nashville, he was seen 80 miles away traveling along Route 13.
Okay, so how much dough?
Well, let's see, labor.
At a filling station in Santa Fe, Tennessee, George stopped to have a flat tire repaired.
$60.
The owner recalled that George paid him in cash.
Okay. All right, sir. Good luck, and thank you. I'm a little bit turned around here, and I'm trying to get to Nobleville. Can you get out to get there?
Oh, Nobleville. Yeah, you go right down here to the second big intersection.
George's family believes that the service station owner may have misunderstood where George wanted to go and directed him towards Lobelville instead of towards George's home in Nolensville. No one knows what George was doing in that part of the state. Nolensville is approximately 30 miles southeast of Nashville. The service station is in Santa Fe, which is 50 miles southwest of Nashville. Lobelville is 60 miles due west of Santa Fe, more than 100 miles from George's home. On the afternoon of Tuesday, July 23rd, the day after he stopped at the service station, George was seen in a market in downtown Lobelville.
I was working. I was the only one there. And he came in the store, and he wanted to know if we had any ice cream. And I told him, yeah. And he asked me would I get him one. So I went and got him an ice cream, and he paid for it, and he went back out to his car. A few minutes later, he came back in the store, and he was pointing towards the cigarettes. And I asked him what kind he wanted, and he pointed towards some cigars. So I gave him a box of cigars and a box of matches. Okay, thank you.
I used to love to dance. You know, I used to have a good time. Used to love it. But I can't I can't find no light.
I think he was disoriented. You don't know where she is? I mean, he seemed fine. But when he told me that he couldn't find his wife, he just, he was just so upset about that. Maybe she's at the clinic and you lost your way back down there, okay?
Mary Jo Phoebus called the local clinic to see if George's wife was there, but there were no patients who fit her description.
She wasn't there, sir. I'm sorry. I wish that I had called somebody. If I had called somebody, then this might not would have happened.
5 more days went by before George's car was discovered 12 miles from the market. An exhaustive search and rescue effort was organized, but there was no trace of Georgeowens. However, the investigation did turn up one significant clue. A clue which led authorities to believe that someone other than George may have been driving his car, and that a second vehicle may also have been present at the scene.
Well, when we started the search, the closest person lived to the scene said that she saw the car go up the hill and a pickup was following, and the pickup stayed 15 to 20 minutes and it come back down to the same road because that was the only way in or way out.
Sheriff's deputies were unable to determine who the pickup belonged to. They were equally baffled by what they found in and around George's car.
When we was looking at the car, it was several piles of wood around the car, which we didn't know. But later we found out that his habits was to go somewhere around his house in Nashville and pick up wood.
Eileen told me, she said there is no way George could have driven that car up there, much less put sticks in the back of it. I mean, she said that it was his baby. He kept that car perfect. Never let, a scratch or a dent or anything. He would go get it fixed, much less put firewood in the back seat. So there's so many things that don't make any sense. Unfortunately, a lot of time's passed now, and I'm not sure how many clues are left, if any.
Authorities are still trying to piece together what happened to Georgeowens. Did he meet with foul play sometime after he left the market? Or did George suffer a minor stroke, become disoriented, and drive up the logging trail himself, only to wander helplessly into the woods? Sadly, Aileen Owens passed away in 1989, but these unanswered questions continue to haunt the rest of George's family.
I would never rest peaceful till I find out what happened to him. Because, I live a horrible life ever since he's been missing. I never give him up. I still believe he's still alive. Somewhere.
Georgeowens is 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighs 160 pounds. When last seen, he was wearing glasses, a gold watch, and a ruby ring. He would today be 87 years old. If you have any information, please contact the Perry County, Tennessee Sheriff's Department or write to Unsolved Mysteries, P.O. Box 11449, Burbank, California, 91510, 1449.